last year, at the end of the year, I joined a city flag football league just to see if I still had it. And I do. And there's 4 people clapping, so thank you. No, but we just wanted to play. Like, I wanted to get out, do something, meet some people. Was so tired of being inside and stuff from the pandemic. And so anyway, we joined this league, and it was cool. Like, the backdrop was nice, and it was at night. It was Tuesday nights. It was like my free night, so I was excited. Whatever. But we didn't bring a team. We signed up as free agents. So like, what you do is you go on the computer system, and then they put you on a team. Well, they put us on a team, and the team. Okay, I can't believe they did this. They called us Dak to the future. No, so Dak Prescott is the quarterback of the Cowboys, so that was rude. Number one, you could already tell the league was compromised, and so anyway, so that's our problem. So we show up to the league, and it's the first night, and so I'm there with Simon. Steven joined our team, and so we're there early. We're stretching. We're semi-elderly at this point, and so we're stretching. I'm getting ready, whatever. We've got all kinds of tights and things on, and things around our knees, and eyes, whatever. So anyway, our team that we don't know, because there was somebody's name on the team, and he's supposed to be the captain. He doesn't show up. Our game's at 6:30. He shows up at 6:27. We don't have a full team until 6:35. So we're standing, like, what are we gonna do? Now, I told Simon, I was like, man, I don't wanna coach. I don't wanna lead. I wanna be anonymous. I don't wanna play quarterback. I just wanna blend in. I'll do whatever. So literally, they're calling for captains. Everyone is standing around looking at each other. There's like 7 girls, 2 boys. Like, it was just like, so they're like waiting for us to like decide. And I was like so mad in my heart, because I'm like, this is not, I'm gonna have to offer some sort of leadership, which I did not want to do. But anyway, the rest of the team shows up as we're walking on the field with no people. And then we don't introduce no one says anyone's name. No one says hi. It's just like, okay, ready, set, hike, go. That's how it started. So I'm not gonna tell you how it ended, but we took the L for Jesus. That's all I can say. Anyway, right now for this talk, I wanna put your mindset in being a player coach. So I'm gonna use sports as an analogy and a springboard. We had to be player coaches. I had to be a player coach. And sometimes you're not afforded the ability to be a coach only or be a player only. Sometimes you have to do both. And in leadership, you're always a player coach. In leadership, you're always modeling and coaching, playing, modeling, coaching, filling holes, right? As leaders, we are players, coaches. Does everybody understand that? There was a guy named Curly Lambeau, and he was the primary runner and passer for the Packers during the early days of the NFL. He threw the first pass, the first touchdown, and kicked the first field goal in team history. As a player coach, so he played and he coached at the same time. So as a player coach, and then later, just as a coach, he led the Packers to an incredible 6 NFL championships. Okay, he won 226 games and boasted a .631 winning percentage. Curly was to the Green Bay Packers as Babe Ruth was to the New York Yankees. So that's how significant Curly Lambeau was to the Packers, which is why probably the most famous field in football is known as Lambeau Field, right? After Curly Lambeau. My question for you is, don't you want to be that kind of leader to the people you lead? don't you want to have some sort of memorial of remembrance for how you led people and how you left a legacy? Do you want to be that for the Block Church, for the Kingdom of God, what Curly and Babe were for their respective teams? This is the team that God put you on. This is the soil that you've been put in. These are the families that you've been put in. These are the friendships you have. These are the people in your life, okay? So what I want us to do tonight is to be player coaches. So here's the title of my talk. Here's the title. You need a backup quarterback. You need a backup quarterback. So as a coach, I need a backup quarterback. And as the quarterback, I need my backup quarterback. So that's where we're going. You need a backup quarterback. Okay, here's a few things about quarterbacks. Here's the first thing. Every quarterback has a rough season. So if a quarterback is a leader, leaders go through stuff. People die. Things aren't working the way they should be. You're not up and to the right. There's slow or no growth. And we make mistakes. Every leader, every quarterback has a rough season. Leaders shouldn't and can't have continual rough seasons, or they should lose their jobs. Do we all agree? Or their role. But we do have occasional ones. Is it acceptable to have continual rough seasons as the quarterback? No. Is it acceptable to occasionally have a rough season? Yes, everybody does. And if you're going to do this for 30 years, you're going to have a few rough seasons. A rough season should not be the norm. It should be the exception. However, you need a good backup for the rough seasons. So every quarterback has a rough season. Every quarterback needs a break. Here's the next thing. Every quarterback needs a break. You may be in the best season of your life and your leadership career, but you still need a break. You might be running so hard that you need a break and you need to plan your break. If you don't plan your breaks, no one else, including your backup quarterback, is going to get better. Listen to this. Constant breaking when you are breaking is a disaster in the making. Constant, I got to get a break. I need to take a break because I'm falling apart. That is a disaster in the making and a recipe for continual bad seasons. So constant breaking when you're breaking is a disaster in the making. In other words, you have a backup quarterback, you need to plan your breaks. And as a player coach, you need a backup quarterback. Every quarterback gets injured. Every quarterback gets injured. Even Tom Brady got injured 1 year. This goes without saying. People are going to wound you. They're going to hurt you. And you're going to get hurt. We get hurt by others. People die. We get sick. Unexpected pain takes place. We cannot predict the unexpected. Injuries happen. People leave you. They drop off unexpectedly. There's too much pressure. Every quarterback gets injured if you get injured. If you're in a place of injury, of pain, what happens if you don't have a backup quarterback? You burn out. Here's something that I've learned. When you break your leg and you don't heal and recover the broken leg the right way, you don't take the proper time, and this is an analogy for life. What happens is your broken bone or your broken leg, it grows back deformed. And as leaders, we produce who we are. And so, if you don't take the proper time to grow back healthy, then the people you produce won't be healthy. Everybody breaks a leg, but only the smart people who have backup quarterbacks have the time and the place to let their leg heal so that they produce people who are whole. You see why you need a backup quarterback as a player coach? Because you're going to get injured. If you don't have a backup quarterback, and if you're not working on having a backup quarterback, you don't have the right. You don't have the right to take a break. every quarterback has a contract limit. Everyone's looking around going, well, what's my contract? I can get a signing bonus for a... Did you get a jacket? Do we feed you like 3 times a year? Okay. I mean, we put on team conference. Okay. What do I mean by that? Every quarterback has a contract limit. As a leader, your term limit for your role or responsibilities has a limit. Stay with me. You should be moving up, you should be moving over, or you should be moving on to a higher level of leadership. Your title may not change, but your responsibilities should shift. There is a time limit on your leadership term. There are things that I'm doing as my role, my title may not change, but there's stuff that I'm doing right now that in 5 years, if I'm still doing it, I'm the problem. That's why you need backup quarterbacks. Because your contract, there's a time limit on it. Here's the last one. Every quarterback needs motivation. You know, it's good to have a good backup quarterback. It's good to have a good backup quarterback if you're a quarterback that's good, because it puts the pressure on you. And fortunately for us who are in a leadership warehouse and a leadership factory, we want people who are better than us. So what is our motivation? It's developing people. It's seeing the wins. It's participating in the wins. It's seeing others grow. As you have a backup quarterback, when they play and you're resting, when they're victorious, that should be your greatest, most fulfilled moments as a player, coach, leader. So let me review. You need a backup quarterback. Every quarterback has a rough season. You will too. That's why you need a backup quarterback. Every quarterback needs a break. You're going to need one, but you don't have a right if you don't have a backup ready. Every quarterback gets injuries. It's going to happen to you. What are you going to do? You're either going to grow back deformed or you're going to grow back healthy. Has everything to do with your backup quarterback. Every quarterback has a contract limit. You should be moving up, over, or on to greater things. Your title may not change, but your responsibilities should shift. And then every quarterback needs motivation. Your motivation should be seeing the people that are your backups succeed at a better capacity than you could. Now, 4 questions to answer because we are developing leaders. 4 questions. How do we do this? How do we have a backup quarterback? Well, the first question you got to answer is, who is your backup? Think about your area of ministry. Who is your backup? Your area of leadership, your title, what you do. Who is your backup quarterback? You're the quarterback, you're the player coach. Who's your backup quarterback? It's imperative to assess if you have a solid backup. So how do you know you have a solid backup? Number 1, can I take a break and my ministry or my work carry on effectively? That's number 1. I'm going to give you 6 little things, how you know. Can I take a break and what I do carry on effectively without me? Number 2, can I be gone and there not be mass confusion or chaos? So that you might have a backup quarterback, but if there's mass confusion or chaos, you have not done your job. Are they looking for answers, calling, texting you? Number 3, is my role systematized and clear on a document? Number 4, do I meet regularly with the backup and show them, teach them? In other words, are we watching film together? Are we going through, hey, how did this go? How do you feel like this went? We're feedback. Number 5, does this person know or expect to fill in for me at some point? Do they know it's coming? Hey, on May 31st, I'm going to a wedding and you're the person, you're in charge. Just preparing you. But you're good, you're solid. I've done my job, you're gonna get to do yours. And I'm gonna go to that wedding and I'm gonna pray for my ministry, but I'm not gonna think about my ministry. Because I know you're going to go out there and you're going to throw some touchdowns. on my behalf? And lastly, am I consistently giving them reps? Am I consistently giving them little opportunities? Hey, I'm going to stand right here and I want you to lead the team today. Am I giving them reps? Or I want to give you a brief moment in this opportunity. Your backup needs reps. So the question is who is your backup quarterback, Santi? Who? Number 2, who could be your backup? Who could be your backup? That's a different question. Who is your backup versus who could be your backup? Because you may not have an is, so now the question is who could be? It's imperative to always be looking, always be praying, and always be thinking about the right backup to your position. Always. You're thinking, okay, who's my backup? Who am I developing? Who am I raising up? So here's the thing. People get bored doing the same stuff over and over again, right? So like I'm a greeter coordinator, and I've been a greeter coordinator at my church for 27 years. And and it's like, I'm kind of bored now. Okay. All right. Well, you shouldn't be the greeter coordinator for 27 years because we've got to move on. You should be the greeters coordinator, whatever. But a lot of times what happens, right, is like, okay, here's the other thing. Well, I've been doing this for a year and I'm just, kind of bored. I'm just itching. You want to not be bored with your role, whatever it is. The problem is a lot of us see our role as our role instead of seeing it as what it's supposed to be, a development position. Forget what you do. I can put any good leader in any role and they make that role great. So you can sing, cool. So can I. Maybe better. But like the thing is like, you know what? Like I'm leading in this capacity. And like, honestly, like what we need is not great singers. We need great leaders. Because we're always multiplying. And if we're always multiplying, we might have some folks that like are not great singers, but they know how to lead people into the presence of God. I'd much rather have that. You know what I'm saying? And so, but how does that happen? Well, I'm developing people. I'm teaching people how to get into the presence of God. They can keep a note, cool. And they're not a distraction, awesome. They're eligible because they can take people into God's presence. And I'm showing them, right? So like, it's like, you want to not ever be bored with what you do? Always be developing a backup quarterback. That's the beauty of this thing. So who could be your backup? You're always looking, you're always praying, you're always thinking about the right backup. Here's also like, guys, there's always gonna be a lot of turnover in a always multiplying, fast-paced ministry. Get used to it. Sometimes we complain about it, oh, there's a hole here, there's a hole there. Well, most of the time the holes is because people are moving out or we're moving people into other opportunities to replant. Now, we got to be smart, of course, not to be detrimental to a specific place, right? But like, hey, develop somebody and like, you know what? The greeters team is a great example. It's a great place of development, and then people become ready to coordinate at other places. You can't, my greeter team is stacked. Hey, but you know what? This person that you developed is now ready to lead over here. You did your job. Don't huff and puff. Go find somebody else. Then you're never bored. Then you're not like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. There's always these holes. Well, fill the hole. We're leaders. We meet needs. We make a difference. If we're not meeting a need, we are a need. And that's what happens is you're like always coming with needs. No, then your role becomes a need. Go make a difference. Go meet the need. Think about it. You can. How do we do that? We have backup quarterbacks. So who could be your backup? You're always thinking about that. Here's number 3. How are you developing backups? Or here's how we do it. Anybody get anything from this? Okay, how do we do it? Well, I'm gonna give you five things to jot down. Number one, we make a list of potentials and we pray on it. Now, if you're not, if somebody watches this and they're not a Christian, not in church context, the same principle. I need backups everywhere. I'm making a list of potential people, potential candidates. I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice. I'm finding out if they're not. I can't wait for our Christmas production. It's like I'm making a list. Okay, there's no harm in a list. You could take that list and go, hey, here's some people I'm thinking about. What do you think about these people? That person, we've already got plans for that person. Okay, no problem crossing them off. Oh, I didn't think about that. And then they're like, you take it to your other leader, you lead up and they're like, you know what? You know who else could go on that list? So-and-so. And now you're collaborating. And so then you make a list, pray, think, watch people's life, narrow it down. Your backup is personal. Your backup is personal. Think about when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, okay? 80 many years ago, okay? Like Nick Foles is just chilling, whatever. And then Carson Wentz gets hurt. He comes in. And then Carson and him, there was a chemistry there. You could see him in that moment, in that season. They're on the sidelines. They're communicating. They're in film. Like, look, what happened if the Eagles did not have a backup quarterback that was functional? This city would be way worse than it is right now. The misery level is way less knowing that we have one Lombardi trophy. I think I'm playing. So I'm just saying, think about the importance of a backup quarterback. You got to make a list of potentials, pray on it. Number two, then you go and you gauge interest. Go have some conversations. Go have some conversations. Don't scare somebody. Hey, I'm looking for my replacement. You're the same people who tell somebody that you're going to marry them after the second date. You already got the plans. You're already like, you've messaged them, like ring styles, and you know who you are. Okay. So, stop, Joey, stop. Gauge interest. Hey, what are you doing? Well, you've been sitting here for a while. See that? I'd love to connect you. I'd love to grab coffee. I'd love to. Have you ever served on a team before? Man, you have such a great personality. I'd love to. You just gauge interest, or maybe they're already on your team. Hey, have you thought about leading this day? I just love when you communicate. You're gauging interest. Number three, you're then providing reps. Hey, my throat's sore today. No, it's not. But can you do this? Whatever. Can you do the declaration? And all of a sudden, like, they come to life. And it's just like, whoa, I might have a backup quarterback. There are other ways to provide reps. You just got to think about it. Number four, you provide feedback. Provide feedback. You're the pro. You're the player coach. You're the quarterback and coach. So they do something, and then it's like, hey, I loved how you led the declaration, but you made us hug and hold hands. And remember that one time it was COVID? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving an example. Provide some feedback. Let's try this next time. And number five, leave them to lead without you. See how it goes. Or maybe let them lead from a distance. Go and ask, how did they do? What happened? Ask some other people. See how they do. Because you're not going to know unless they get in the game and throw some passes. So I'll repeat that. How are you developing backups? You make a list of potentials. You pray on it. You gauge interest. You provide reps. You provide feedback. You leave them to lead without you. And then here's the last one. This is where it's at. This is where it's at. Who is your backup's backup? Because when you're there, we get. When we're here, like when you get here, we get there. Do you understand? That's when we start arriving as an organization. When your backups got a backup. That's what we're going for. Because that model and idea, it doesn't just flow down from a leadership standpoint, it flows down from a discipleship standpoint. This is what we do here. We make leaders who make leaders. We make disciples who make disciples. It becomes so ingrained in us that like everybody's got a backup, and it's just like automatically, it's like everybody's got a disciple. Everybody. And that's when the kingdom of God and church, that's when the bore and the monotony ends. When we're seeing it 3 steps down, because it never ends. I always use this illustration, like Michael Jordan. We would all agree, there surely can't be an argument that Michael Jordan, greatest of all time, right? We can't argue that. Okay. Michael Jordan, probably the same people that don't got backups. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. Shh. Quiet. Okay. Michael Jordan won 6 championships. He retired. He retired early. They would have had 8, maybe more. Which, yeah. But a lot of factors. Why did he retire? Let's just take one factor. What else is there to prove? It's like, what else can I do? Now, of course, he came back to be a player coach, played with the Wizards or whatever they were. Just go with me here. There's a point in athletics where it's just like, okay, I can't climb any higher. Like, really, at the end of the day, like what else was I going to accomplish? But like, particularly in the world of church ministry, there's literally no limit to where we can go. Because there's always a soul who's headed towards depravity. There's always a life that needs reconciliation. There are unlimited championships to win, unlimited jewels for our crown. So the thing is, but it all starts with, no. Listen, it's all as simple as, who's your backup's backup? That's how we win. That's how we win. So my challenge for you, and I hope every staff member heard this. I hope all of you hear this. Every great leader in this room, everyone on whatever that is. I can't even remember what they're all called at this point. Everyone who watches this beyond, your job, what I want out of you, what we need, what this ministry needs, is you need a backup quarterback. You get you a good backup quarterback. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You're going to be a lot happier, and you're going to be doing the will of the Father. And that's the bottom line. And when you get a backup, help them make a backup. And then that's it. That's when we arrive. That's when we arrive. So that's my hope. That's my prayer. That's my game plan. Let's do it. We can do it.